Yes, I mean, this really is quite a gloomy survey, to put it mildly. This is their economic survey for the last 3 months of 2008. They say that it's the worst on record. They started this survey back in 1989. They talk about this frightening deterioration at the end of the year. They say there are no positive features whatsoever. As you say about domestic demand, or demand here in the UK is plunging, exports are falling, confidence is plummeting. That's both in manufacturing and services, and they say that the UK economy is now facing a serious recession. So they're really not pulling any punches here.
How many shops are we going to lose when the British Retail Consortium point to last month being the worst December on High Street in at least 14 years? I mean, if people are not spending money, shops have got bills to pay, haven't they?
Well, exactly. I mean, we've already seen the effect of the downturn on the high street and the difficulty that retailers are having in getting hold of credit from the banks and building societies. We've seen the effect that that's had on some retailers already. We've had several calling in the administrators. Basically, Land of Leather yesterday was one of them. We've had Woolworths closing its doors completely. So there are definitely going to be retailers that will not be able to survive the difficulties of people spending less money and not being able to get hold of money to tide them over. Others are going to clearly be able to weather it, that they can take the effect of, say, a downturn in sales, and also the fact that, what will become evident, I think, over the next few months is just how much money retailers are making. Because, the sales figures, as Tesco sales up, Sainsbury's sales up, various other retailers showing sales up, but we don't know how much money they're making on that because we've had lots of promotions and price cutting. So it may well be that they're making less money.
Yeah, and it's going to add to the debt mountain, isn't it? If local traders are going out of business, if small companies are going out of business, all these people are going to have bills to pay. They're going to end up on the dole. It's a self-perpetuating problem, isn't it?
That's precisely it, because the reason, among others, that people aren't spending as much money on the high street is that they're perhaps, they're lacking in confidence. They see around them perhaps their friends and family losing their jobs. They're worried about their own job security. Therefore, they rein in their spending. Well, the more they do that, then, as you say, more retailers potentially could go out of business. Those people lose their jobs, therefore they spend less. So yes, absolutely. I mean, that's the problem when you get into a situation like this.
Nightmare scenario. Karen, thank you for coming on this morning. A bit doom and gloom from Karen. Not her fault, but it's just the way it is. But there is a shining light in Peterborough. One man who's doing very, very well indeed is Mike Ramsay from DMC Software Solutions. He's the managing director there. Morning, Mike.
Morning, Paul. How are you?
Your sales are going from strength to strength, aren't they? I mean, what are you doing so special that everybody else can't appear to grasp?
Well, I think after our last conversation, it's a very similar story, actually. One, we're using the internet, so that gives us the whole of the UK to play with and not just the local area. We've had a big push on customer service over the last 3 years. And we're talking to all our existing customers on a regular basis and really loving them and giving them breathtaking customer experience. And a majority of our business is actually coming through our existing customers rather than new business. And new business at the moment is very, very tough, I will say.
Yeah, how do you give customer service, though, if you've got no customers?
Well, I've got 3,000, so...
No, what I mean is... Yeah, no, I know, but for your average Joe, maybe a local trader that's selling something you don't have to buy, how do they go about attracting people in? How do they get them to spend money?
Okay, well, they've got to do all sorts of offers. I believe your wife's in retail. You go into a shop nowadays and you want to buy something, and the girl on the till is talking to her mate about what she did last night. That's not customer service. And things like that wind me up. You've got to go the extra mile, Paul. Really, really got to go the extra mile on everything.
Yeah, this new £20 billion loan scheme that the government's introducing for small businesses, will that help, do you think?
No, I don't think it'll help particularly very much at all. If somebody's been unemployed 6 months in our industry, I wouldn't really look at them anyway. There's a problem there somewhere, even for the £2,500.
So it's a waste of time. Has anything the government done, in your opinion, helped?
Well, I'll give them credit. They are trying, but I don't think they've got it right at the moment. They've got to get control of the banks, and they've got to get the banks lending money to people that can pay it back, underlined.
So service is the key. Service is the key for you. Business going up, and who do you attack next? Where do you go next with your plan?
We just keep on going. I mean, we're 12% up this year, or last year. I think we'll probably do a very similar figure this year, but you've got to work very, very hard, be very, very dedicated to what you do, and very determined and never give in. And it's as simple as that, really. You know, I've been through some atrocious conditions in '92. I dusted myself down, I got back up and I did it, but it's all an attitude of mind.
So even if you do go bust, you know, pick yourself back up and do it again.
Well, you got to, haven't you? You know, you're a long time alive and you're a long time dead, so you've got to get out there and give it some welly. But there's one comment I'd like to make about Woolworths going bust from your previous person. Woolworths really never move with the times. MFI really, the age-old thing, sold things so cheap they couldn't make any money at it. And both of them have got stacks of borrowed money, and that's another thing that you don't want in business. You don't want to be beholden to anybody in particular. You've got to make the customer pay up front.
Good advice, and a ray of light from Mike Ramsay. Mike, thank you for coming on this morning. May you continue to flourish. Mike Ramsay, Managing Director of DMC Software Solutions.
Travel on Peterborough's 95.7 FM, BBC